that you have this comedian is building up their fan base. So this is the number of people who attended all of his shows. The first show, the second show, the third show, and the fourth show. What do you notice about all of the points? Are they going up or down?
Up.
Yeah. Is his fan base growing or going down? It's growing. It's going up. So your graph should be going up. So let's look. I'm going to kind of try and zoom out a little bit so we can see our table and all of our graph choices. Okay, so the first number, we can't see it, but it goes from 106 to 169 to 270 to 433. So we need to see, are we going up the same amount every time? Like this one, no, this one goes up the same amount every time, right here. This one does. Okay, doesn't it look like it, the same gap? What is this one doing? It goes up a little, it goes up more, and then it goes up more. There's like little jumps in how much it increases. These two are going down. His fan base is not going down. All right, so let's see. I can just subtract and see the difference. What is 169 minus 106? Y'all can't see that top number, but it was 106. And so it went up 63. So 270 minus 169, that jumped up 101. So see how it's jumping up more and more each time? So which graph is it?
A.
It's A. It's A. Okay, A is the one, you can't tell, but look, it jumps up a little more, jumps up even more. See how that one's increasing more and more each time? This one is just a constant. That one would say, hey, we're increasing by 63 each time. That's not happening though. So your answer choice is A. Do y'all kind of understand how to do that one? I think you'll have one like that tomorrow. Let me see. I can't remember. Yep, you got one like that. I'm just going to go through all of them. Okay, some of these are the exact same problems we've already had. So they should be pretty easy because sometimes I can't change them. So it says, all right, it gives you a little situation and it wants you to pick out the graph that matches it. You're trying to find the elevation over time, like how high it is. So the hiker climbs up a very steep bank, all right, or a steep bank, and then he rests for a minute. So this one looks like he climbed up a steep bank and rested for a minute. Does that one look good? So does this one. It looks like he rested for a minute. This one looks like he rested the rest of the day, doesn't it? So, or he was done for the day. It's not that one. We'll come back to this, okay? Then it says, then he walks up a small hill. All right, which one of those looks like a small hill? It looks like it's A, but let's make sure it finishes out strong. He walked up a small hill and then across a flat plateau. So you know what a plateau is? Like it's just flat surface. So it is A. Does everybody understand that? You just had to match the graph to the little situation. Okay? So that one is A. All right, let's keep going. These, I know y'all hate these. This will probably be on tomorrow's and your actual quiz. Let me see. Yep. So far, we're matching. Okay, but they are different numbers, so that's good. Okay, we're going to find the table that matches this. So, my first rectangle, that's what we're looking at. That's what the number 1 is. I'm going to come draw my own though. In my first rectangle, what's the perimeter? It's 5, 5, 5, and 5. It's actually a square. 20. What's 5? Yep, so 5, 5, 5, and 5 is 20. In my second rectangle, or 2 rectangles, sorry, it's 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. What's that going to be? If I count up all the way around? 30. Okay? And in my third one, what's it going to be? 40. Which answer is that?
B.
B. Okay? Is everybody good with that? Remember, the perimeter you count up all the way around. So that answer is B. Yep. Okay. Now, I might have to come back to that in a second. 20, 30, 40. Oh, I do. Now I have to pick the graph that matched it. So one rectangle was at 20. Okay? Hey, that looks like it could be right. Is this one at 20? No, it's not this one. Does this one could be right, somewhere around in there, because it's from 15 to 30. And is this one over here at 20? No. All right, so we've eliminated 2. At 2, we're at 30. Which one of those is 2 rectangles? That one's above 30, so it's going to be B, okay? So, and then at 3, it should be at 40, and that still looks right. Okay, so we picked out that one. Then it says, write the equation in some words. So, if I go back to my rectangle or my table, either one, I'll write the equation. All right, so it's y equals, that's what an equation looks like. We have an equal sign, and we have 2 letters. What are they? X and Y. We should be getting used to that. So, what stays the same at the ends? 5 and 5, which is what? 10. So, at the end, I'm going to have plus 10, okay? That's what's at my ends. Now, what is it adding each time? We went from having 10 to having 10, 20. What was it adding each time in our table? 10. This one was adding 10. So it's 10x plus 10. Okay? That's your equation. That's probably the hardest part. This is what you're adding each time, and this is what you basically kind of start with, is what that means. Okay. Let's see. I won't look for your words. Y'all don't have to use words. We'll get to that later. I'm just going to want your equation. So I think I'm going to do a triangle one in a second. If it says write the relationship using words, we don't have to do it on that one. All right, here's the triangle one. Let's do the same thing we just did. So this one wants an equation. Y'all, that's a whole lot of words, right? It can be very confusing. Guess what you can just look at? Look at the equation. They don't use X and Y. They use P and N. All right, perimeter and number of, what does N stand for? I guess maybe number of triangles in each figure. I don't know. Okay, so what for our equation, what stays the same at the ends on this one? What's at the ends? 7 and 7. I'm just going to do y equals. So what is 7 and 7? 14. Is everybody okay with where the 14 came from? Now, what am I adding each time? This time I had 5. This time I had 10. This time I had 15. What am I adding each time? What's it changing by? 7. The 7s is at the end. So it goes from 5 to 10 to 15. 5. So look, notice on your triangles, you only add it once. Note on my rectangles, I had a top and bottom. That's why it was 10. My triangles, I'm only adding this. If you need to make a table, okay, if you needed to make a table, 1, 2, and 3 triangles. 1 triangle, what is that? 19. 2 triangles, what is that? 24, right? What was 3 triangles? 29. If I add it up, what's it adding by each time? 5. That's that number right there. Okay? So, anyway, your answer on this one is C. Are we kind of okay? Maybe getting a little bit better at it? Maybe not. All right. Actually, I'm going to rewrite my equation up here so that I can use it. I might need it on my next problem. They did 5n plus 14. Now, on this one, it says, these are kind of out of order because that one should have been, I'll rewrite that. What are you doing to find the perimeter of each of the next triangle? Okay, so what did we just say? It kind of asks it funny with this right here, but basically it's saying, what are you doing to find the perimeter of each triangle? What are you adding each time? Anybody? 14. Well, 14 stayed the same. Remember, each triangle, it adds what? 5. You add 5 each time. Look at your picture. Okay? To go from this triangle to this triangle, what was added to it? Do y'all see that? Maybe that helps. From this one to this one, I added a 5 up here. From this one to this one, what did I do? I added a 5 down here. So on that, you're just looking at your picture. You add 5 each time. All right, so that's C. Then number 8, I had already written this one down. I should have left it up there. But 1 triangle, Remember when I wrote that? I'll rewrite it. We had 1, 2, and 3 triangles. One triangle, what was the perimeter again? I think it was 19, 24, 29. Okay, that would be that other one down there. Is everybody okay with that? Yeah? Kind of? Okay. I know I'm kind of going a little fast, but I do want to try and get through as many as I can. Then if we graphed it, we should remember the numbers now. One triangle was 19, 2 triangles was 24, and 3 triangles was 29. Is everybody okay with that? I just went over 1 and up, over 2 and up, over 3 and up. Okay. And then number 10 is just the equation again, okay? So I'm not going to go over that one. All right, this one, same problem we already had on a worksheet. How would you describe, or what are the 2 variables, first of all? Let's write that down. What are my 2 variables? Distance and time. Somebody forgets that every year on the quiz. So what are the variables? Distance and time. All right? Describe how they are related at various points on the graph. Some of y'all did it this way. Y'all said, okay, this is 1. So what's happening at number 1? What happens to her distance?
She's moving?
Yeah, she's going away from the grocery store, right? Or she leaves the grocery store. Leaves grocery store. What happens at the next part?
She stops.
Yeah, she stops. Stops. Okay, and then 3. I'll call this 4 and 5. So I would say I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to kind of do like this. At 1, 3, and 5, she's going away from the grocery store. Does that make sense? We can write less. At 2 and 4, she has stopped. But what happens at 6?
She's still going, but
Well, it's flat, so she's not. She's making her delivery. It's taking longer. So this is like a stop at a stop sign or a red light, right? So this is making her delivery. It takes a little bit longer. Okay, then I'm going to call this 7, 8, and 9. So what's happening at 7 and 9?
she's going back to the grocery store.
Yeah, she's going back to the grocery store. 7 and 9 headed back to the grocery store. Grocery store. Okay, and then what's happened at 8?
She stopped.
Yeah, she must have stopped again. Maybe for a stop sign or a red light. Does that make sense? So you can write it as a paragraph. You can write it however. You're just kind of telling about what's going on in this scenario. Okay. Let's see how much the bells. I've still got a little time. Let me plug in my computer real quick. Because if it dies during the video, I'll lose it. All right. There we go. Okay. Let me see what other ones are on here real quick. I've got a few with graphs.
Where are you going tomorrow, you said?
A field trip. Okay. Are these linear or not linear? How do you know if they're linear? If it makes a straight line, but instead of graphing it, you can graph it. What can you just see? If the distance, or like if you subtract them and it's the same amount each time, right? Does that make sense? So we'll just do number 12 because of time. I don't think those other ones are on there, but I might do one of them. Okay, I would just do, let me do 21.4 minus 12.7. That's 8.7. Okay, let me subtract these two. 30.1 minus 20.4. They're looking like they're going to be linear, right? I'm just taking the number and subtracting the one above it. 47.5 minus 38.8. Are those, oh, y'all can't see. Is that linear? Yes. If I just subtract that number and the one above it every time, if I get the same number, then it's a straight line. Okay, if you were to subtract these, we'll go ahead and do a 0.09 minus 0.3, 0.03 minus 0.09. Are these going to be the same? No. So this is not linear. All right. Then we have one. Let's try. I'll just do number 14. This one may not be on there. I'm thinking that these I did not put on there. All you're doing is they give you 4 problems, A, B, C, and D. Plug these in and see if they work. That's what they want you to do. So if I plug in 1 for X, okay, let's see what I get. So let me try that. Let me plug in 1, and what should I get? 1. Let's see if that happens. What is 1 plus 2? It's 3. Did that one work? No. Okay. Let's plug in 1 and see if I get 1. What is 1 squared?
1.
Hey, that works. Let's check a few more though. Okay. Let me plug in 2. What should I get?
4.
4. What is 2 squared?
4.
4. What is 3 squared? 9. So does this one work? It's B. Okay. Again, I don't think that's on there, but that's good for you to kind of know how to do that. Okay. Then what is the graph of the function? I think I might be out of time, but that should be, we'll do this one and then be done. Okay, it says you've got negative x minus 3. What do you do to graph it? How many points do you pick? 3. Okay, I don't care what numbers. If I know it's going to be a straight line, I would pick 0, 1, and 2. As long as it doesn't have absolute value or x squared, it's going to be a straight line. Okay, because that'll make it easier. And then I would just plug it in. Negative 0 minus 3. Well, that doesn't make sense. It's just 0 minus 3. Plug in 1. It's got a negative 1 minus 3. What's that going to be? Negative 4. Plug in 2. And we get negative 5. And graph it. Are we okay with this? Yeah, I do want your sheet from today. And so y'all will have a quiz review. Y'all can just pass them up if you want. Y'all will have a quiz review tomorrow.